So this is Logan Paul. New response is horrible. This is first video.
January 3rd is a date that had more importance to me than my own birthday, because that was the day Logan Paul said he was going to respond to CoffeeZilla's investigative series on his CryptoZoo project. Throughout a year-long investigation conducted by CoffeeZilla, he produced 3 videos that highlighted that CryptoZoo was a scam, and told the story of tons of victims who lost money and went over how it got to that point and what went on behind the scenes. Logan Paul stated that he would be responding to all the allegations on January 3rd. And he did, in a remarkably baffling way. So January 3rd rolled around, and it was this very sad response from Logan Paul. He released a 7-minute video where he addressed none of the actual claims that had evidence backing them, and avoided all of the actual hard-hitting facts that CoffeeZilla was providing without giving his side of anything. Instead, he just started attacking the character of CoffeeZilla and throwing out wild accusations with nothing to back up his claims in his own video, which makes him very hypocritical in that sense, such as him stating at the very beginning that CoffeeZilla's been getting information wrong because he's turned into a gossip channel without ever showing any of the things he's gotten wrong recently, and then saying that he tried to work in law enforcement was turned away for being not truthful and his work often being speculative, of which he provides no sources to where he got that, so I imagine he reached into his colon and pulled it out like a little dingleberry. So his video wasn't the best when it came to proving his innocence. So he then released a podcast episode yesterday going over it deeper. However, it's not deep at all. This shit is shallower than a micro penis. It doesn't go anywhere. It's still the very surface level shit where he doesn't actually talk about any of the evidence-backed claims that CoffeeZilla makes against him, his team, and his project. It's an hour and 20 minutes of them trying to play the victim here, and it's so shameless at one point that he even begins reading a letter that he supposedly received from a fan that made him tear up, talking about how great of a person Logan is and how he has such a kind heart, and then Logan tears up on the podcast again. None of this has anything to do with the CoffeeZilla investigation or CryptoZoo, so it just seems like he's farming sympathy points for some reason. It's just not good at all. This is actually significantly worse than a 7-minute response video. Now, he does reinforce that he will be suing CoffeeZilla for defamation for his investigative series on CryptoZoo, which leads me to believe that Logan Paul is truly surrounded by absolute fucking troglodytes. There is nobody in Logan Paul's immediate circle that gives him good advice. A defamation case is extremely hard to win in even the best of circumstances. But you have a shady crypto company that a ton of people lost a ton of money on, and you're suing a guy who investigated it for a year and provided nothing but an unbiased, objective look at the facts. No matter how you want to spin it, it is objective as it gets.
To look at the facts, I guess.
Seems to believe that CoffeeZilla highlighted him as a malicious, evil supervillain, which are his words, not mine. But in the actual investigation videos, you can see CoffeeZilla multiple times mentions that he can't pin the blame on any one person, and in fact focuses more highly on the other 2 people, Jake the Crypto King and Eddie Ibanez, than Logan Paul. So to win a defamation case, you not only have to prove that the information is incorrect, you have to prove that it was knowingly incorrect by the person who put it out there publicly. You have to prove there was malicious intent. You would have to somehow prove that CoffeeZilla knew all of this information was wrong, published it anyway for the sole purpose of hurting your image. And that's a very difficult thing to prove, because you can make tons of arguments that CoffeeZilla, even if things are wrong, which so far Logan Paul's proven nothing wrong, aside from one of the victims in the testimonials being shady, aside from that he's proven nothing, he would then have such a solid defense regardless, because he investigated and just provided like facts of the information he gathered from Logan Paul's own team. So he would have a very strong case of, this isn't defamation, I was doing a public service by bringing all of this information to light. Like, it's an unwinnable case for defamation, and I have to imagine Logan Paul knows that and just wants to bully CoffeeZilla legally and cost him a lot of money to hurt him, which is fucked up. That is malicious and supervillain-like, Logan. Of course, I'm no lawyer, but I am at least somewhat familiar with how defamation cases usually go, because when someone's feelings get hurt, they always try and sue for defamation for some reason. It's pretty cringe. Now, another thing that I want to mention before showing the podcast moments is Logan Paul is so delusional that he actually is using the defense of him hiring criminals makes him innocent. So in his response video, he's like, you talked to my developer that stole the code for $1 million. Did you know that that developer is actually a convicted criminal? And then showcases his criminal history. As if that makes Logan Paul look better or innocent. Logan, you hired 3 criminals to run this issue. That makes you look much, much worse and much more guilty. Oh, no, guys. It's not me that was bad. I hired 3 criminals. I brought together the Suicide Squad here to run this crypto company. It's them that were bad. It's not
So on a
my
bad note,
fault. Why are you getting mad at me? I just hired
that's
the
a bad
criminals.
look right there.
Obviously, you're responsible for the team you put together. You are liable for 2 of them stealing $7.7 million from the project here. That is your fault. I don't know why you keep falling back on, no, it's just that those criminals that did it, not me. Like, it's such
Blaming
a
other
fucking
people.
stupid defense. I already did get kind of the spoilers that he really just repeats what he said in his video, which is nothing. Even in this hour and 20 long podcast, he doesn't actually debunk any of CoffeeZilla's claims.
Always trying to get attention, and now he doesn't give a fuck about us, so he's not going to speak out about it until this other dude's going to speak out, and now this is going to talk now.
Great question.
What was the question? He was just like spitting a fact. Now, I know these are just like his lackeys, and his point is like, this is all wrong, but it wasn't even a question. He's just like, he's just like, right. Like, the only thing he failed to mention there is that it was a scam. But everything else, yeah, I mean, he's like, right. It's not like you were going to talk about CryptoZoo the next day or something. If CoffeeZilla never made the video telling the victim's story, this would have stayed just buried, fading into obscurity.
Here are some receipts. Again, just for context. His name's Steven. The first time he reached out to me was on Christmas Eve after he released his series.
Logan, big guy. Coffee already posted the receipts. He reached out to you directly on Instagram, which was your only means of communication, by the way, since you blocked him over a year ago. When that was a dead end, he reached out to your manager multiple times asking to talk directly to you. Jeff left him on red. It wasn't until every other avenue was burned that he called your manager, Jeff. Those receipts were already posted. But you are right. He did reach out again on December 24th to your email, again, after exhausting everything else, again, because you have him blocked.
This is big for him. He caught a lot of traction. He gained like 500,000 subscribers. And I'm sure he got a decent amount of money pumping his Patreon. But I am not interested in feeding into that anymore. So we'll be answering the questions that hopefully he was going to ask me and that you're going to ask me today on this podcast.
But that's just so transparently weak. Your offer was for him to fly out to your studio to do it. So couldn't the same argument be made for you? Like, that's not a strong point that you, for some reason, harp on so heavily.
Yeah, I don't
His
think you
offer
want
was
to
to just do a general video call. In fact, CoffeeZilla doesn't even do those interviews, video calls on his main channel. He does it on a secondary platform. So it wouldn't even be milking views or anything out of it. It's literally just getting the truth.
Hey, Steven, just wanted to put my response to your scam allegations on your radar, linked below. Even though you broke laws, hardly substantiated dangerously hoods and wrongfully accused me of scamming my fans, I'd still love to host you on Impulsive, again, unmonetized. It can even be one-on-one.
unmonetized.
Hardly substantiated your evidence. I'm going to give him leeway on the breaking laws because even I didn't realize Texas was a one-party consent law when it came to recording conversations on the phone. So he didn't break laws. So that's blatantly wrong, but I'm going to give him leeway because I also didn't realize that was legal in Texas. But this, fucking yikes. And fabricated, dangerously misleading falsehoods. What, talking to your team of criminals? Like, directly? What do you mean?
If someone scams a person or an organization, they deceive them in order to get something valuable for them, especially money. That is the definition of scam. So my first question, and this question was answered in his series, it was a 5-second blip that was a part of a probably hour-long of documentary, filmmaking, was how much money did you make off the sale of the coin?
Oh, no.
No money.
Oh, this is so much worse.
I think he said
would have
no money,
expected.
right?
Just because Logan didn't make the money doesn't mean it wasn't a scam. You know who did make money and 7.7 million's worth? 2 of the other criminals he hired to run it with him, Mike. Yes, it is a scam, even though Logan didn't make the money off of it. Holy shit. I am going to assume this had to have been recorded a week ago or longer. There's no way he recorded this and released it today
I think he recorded
after
on
his response video and the reception and all of the
January or
points
something.
made about it. I refuse to believe he is that blissfully ignorant of what's going on. This has to be old. This is wildly bad. This is just... So the setup he's doing here is Coffee refused to come on Impulsive, so instead I'm going to have my sidekick here make up easy softball questions that we think CoffeeZilla may have asked if he was lobotomized. And then Logan tackles those easy ones. For instance, what is a scam? Well, by the definition of a scam, Logan, did you make money off of this? And I already know the answer. Well, no, Mike. In fact, CoffeeZilla even corroborated this. I never sold the coin. That doesn't mean it's not a scam, Logan.
Yeah, this seems to be the biggest misconception, and it is...
it's not a misconception. We know you didn't sell.
It's disappointing that part was glossed over so quickly. Made no money off CryptoZoo.
Never claimed you did. Said you didn't.
Never sold the token.
He said you didn't.
Only lost money trying to make things right.
Also said you did.
Along with everyone else in the project. But
except for Jake and the other criminal.
No money was made.
Eddie.
No tokens were sold.
Except by those two.
And CoffeeZilla even said that in his series.
Exactly.
So to answer your question, yeah. No money was made by Jeff or I.
And
Okay.
Thus, everything
scam,
CoffeeZilla said was accurate. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Doesn't mean it's not a scam, bro. Talk about the leaked group texts about how this was supposed to just emulate another lucrative project to exploit your fans for money as quickly as possible off as minimal effort as possible. And then talk about all of the meeting memos about market manipulation and what's an acceptable amount to sell on any given day for the percentage increase or for the percentage effect on the overall tokenomics. Get into the market manipulation stuff from the actual group chats, man. That's what I'd like to hear.
that seemed just like a kill shot to this entire thing.
Yeah, maybe. If your brain is very smooth, I suppose. Well, everyone may have lost money, and the entire goal may have been to just exploit us for money, but Logan didn't sell. So I guess we weren't scammed. I can see how your mind worked in that way, Mike.
That's simple.
I'm fucking frustrated. I've been frustrated for over a year. So I'll let
so frustrated he doesn't do anything about it.
While we made no money on the project, which I think kills the scam narrative immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
There is more explaining to do.
What was your intent with CryptoZoo?
Post actively on Reddit hybrid animals, and the hybrid animals thread on Reddit is hilarious and has a bunch of likes and people commenting on it. But the moment that I say it's something that I'm doing, it doesn't work in that context.
I think it was shined in a bad light. I think if it didn't have the negative outline on it, people wouldn't.
No.
The fuck are you talking about? It was stock images. It has nothing. Even if the art was bad, if it was clear it was actually custom art by real artists, then the critique would just be, yeah, the art's kind of lame. The critique is the handmade art claim is wrong, as in you're using stock images. What is he talking about?
Bad.
His claims were literally handmade art, and he talked about how many artists he had on the team. But it was revealed that it was mainly stock photos. Now, the hybridization of the art with a panda with a long elephant nose, maybe you had someone drum that up in 5 minutes in Photoshop, I guess. But, like, even that's a stretch. Discussion he has that's insightful at all. I know that he says that CoffeeZilla is milking victims of his scam, which is a wild thing to say. Just get over it. You lost money. Stop milking it. That is what. Where is that actually? I'll pull that up in case any of you haven't seen that. Where in this podcast is it?
At each other.
When all this broke, when we were in Qatar, I'll kind of remember this. We were in the spa one day, and I saw the pain in your. And this, like I said, this is not going to turn into a fucking victim thing. I just want to point this out. I saw this pain in your face, bro, and this like emptiness in your fucking eyes when all this was breaking.
So that wasn't the milking it part, but that was embarrassing. Jesus Christ, Mike.
You just said it.
Logan, when we were in Qatar, in that spa, surrounded by topless women, drinking expensive champagne, I looked over, you checked your phone, CoffeeZilla made a video with your name in it. You knew it was about CryptoZoo, and I saw, through the windows of your soul, I saw...
The password problem.
Logan. So I did what any good friend would do. I put your whole sack into my mouth. And I didn't want to, Logan. Trust me, I didn't want to.
Okay.
But I put it in my mouth where it was nice and
Good
warm.
one.
I knew I could comfort you in this time of need. And I'm not trying to make it seem like the victim, but you ruined our entire vacation, CoffeeZilla. All of it. Ruined it. Ruined it.
Is one of the most painful fucking things in the entire world. It's
where
terrible.
Where Coffee fucked up is by targeting me as some malicious, evil supervillain.
But
He had
he's
told this story objectively.
Did you watch the video? I have to wonder. I actually thought he did a really great job of talking about the other ones as being the really malicious, evil supervillains and you being the bumbling buffoon. You played the comic relief of this scam, Logan.
Says what? Sa
I
subtitle.
have to wonder if he even watched it.
Sa pimbing the
Coffee focused very heavily
the
on
podcast.
Crypto King and Eddie. You were just the dummy. Like the actual fucking dummy. There you said harmonica and jelly.
And told the story.
It was as
without-
objective as it
without
could be.
Vilifying me. Regardless, we're still making this right. But in my opinion, that's where it got twisted and hurt the most. Dude. I'm sitting in the seat solely because of my fans. I love them. I'll take any picture you want. Unless I'm at dinner. That's my one rule. Come on these.
You love your fans so much, give them their money back. Easy. Your fans mean so much to
give
you.
them the
Wow, you
money
do so much.
too.
You take a picture when they ask. Holy fuck, what a saint. Give them their money back. Prove it. Give them their money back. But, like, let's say it is 5 or 6 mil. Logan Paul, with Prime alone, makes that in, like, a week. People are fighting each other in the UK for Prime. He could absolutely afford just to give that back. Be like, you know what, guys? I really do, like, care about you. I'm not just... This isn't just lip service. This wasn't supposed to be a scam. Things got out of control. You lost money. Real people were hurt. And I can't live with that anymore. I'm giving you your initial investments back. And since it's on the blockchain, you have the ledger. You can easily see who invested what so you don't get scammed by people pretending to be investors. And you could easily just give them it back and make it whole. But he won't. He could afford to, though. 100% he could afford to. No, but Charlie, he takes pictures with his fans. That's a good point. A picture is worth more than the millions of dollars that they've lost. Hey, babe. I know I lost money with Dink Doink from Logan Paul last time. Well, I did it again with CryptoZoo, but I got this dope-ass picture with him. Like, look at how happy we look together. What do you mean you're leaving?
I'm not kidding. The guy's good. He's
very smart.
He's very smart. He manipulates and twists the truth just the way he wants to get his people to believe a certain thing. He's good.
Okay.
I think
It's marketing in a way, hiding behind the veil of, I don't make money off this platform. I'm doing God's work. I'm doing justice. By the way, go sign up to my Patreon. Go join my Patreon. We're gonna.
Which fucking goober laughed at that? Like, this is a bad point anyway. He should be making money from his work.
I'm laughing out loud.
Not to quote the Joker, because that's turbo cringe, but if you're good at something, don't do it for free. Like, he's the best goddamn investigator the platform has. He should be making money from it. I don't see how that's a critique. What's the criticism there? Ah, he did these investigations and he makes money. He can't be trusted.
Okay.
And that's where this also gets tricky, because I'm not sure what he's fabricating or if people are genuine.
I don't think he was a video.
Because he doesn't verify backgrounds or, like I said, substantiate any evidence. So he's probably.
Do you not believe there's victims?
Put people who have lost here on a pillar and highlight them. That's what I would do if I were him. I'd milk the shit out of this, and like I said, he's probably going to. He's good. He's very good.
They're called victims, Logan.
Part 6 is the more he says, and the more he continues to spread this misinformation that this was any sort of con or scam, the more I have for the lawsuit that I am filing. The defamation.
I do. The disconnect in his brain is wild because he puts it on this lens like the guy, CoffeeZilla, is just someone that doesn't like him, as opposed to a guy who investigated this fully. So he truly believes that everyone that he showcases and every story he tells has to be by a paid actor, and can't comprehend that real people lost a lot of money from his project. Or maybe he can and he pretends to be stupid. Couldn't really tell you. But yeah, He just talks about the people losing money as being milked.
There's no
or
way.
them milking
Just
it.
pretending.
Yo, you got scammed. Get over it. I think I really do think Stan's had the best take on it. Like, if he was Logan Paul's guy, he would have advised to just ignore it. And he's absolutely right. I thought the right play would just be make everyone hooligan, refund them. I think that's the morally correct thing to do. But if Logan just wanted the easiest way and just to get out of this as quickly as possible, if he never said anything, he would have been fine.
Just don't say anything.
But now he's posted this on both of his main platforms, Logan Paul channel and now Impulsive. All of his audience is now aware of this. Now they've probably watched CoffeeZilla's video, and with all of that evidence, they're gonna look at Logan Paul and be like, "Fuck, this guy hasn't proven his innocence at all. He hasn't even mentioned any of the claims." So he really fucked himself. If he had just ignored it, his audience would have never known, never cared, and he would have been in the same situation. He would have been fine. His fans are definitely not watching CoffeeZilla's video. I disagree. So I actually think since now he's posted it 2 times, they're gonna be like, "What is he talking about?
There are a lot of
What are these
views,
scam
so-
allegations? I bet it's a bunch of baloney, a bunch of fucking barnacles." Logan would never do that. Let me see what this is, and they'll watch it for even a second, like hate watch it. But then Coffee immediately starts making points, and they're like, interesting. His audience, no. I don't know. Maybe I'm now skewed on what I think his audience is after the CoffeeZilla videos, because everyone that he interviewed that got scammed for a lot of money was not a kid. They were young adults. So no, maybe I'm under the false idea that his audience is older than they are. I always thought he had like a Disney Channel audience, but after the CoffeeZilla investigation, I became convinced they were older. Plus he's in the WWE now, which is mainly older audience. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong fully. What I wanted is for him to actually tackle the evidence. I would really like to hear from his side, if there is one. Right now, I'm starting to genuinely doubt he has any legs to stand on there on this situation. But who knows? You didn't see him push Prime at the end.
You look like a
Yeah, Prime needed an extra push. It's only on his goddamn phone case on the table, them drinking it constantly, them fiddling with it constantly. Yeah, it needed that extra push. Yeah, surely I needed to see that.
I guess he still didn't provide any evidence. I don't think he talks about the evidence at all. I guess I under the analysis, but